Uvakela ka-PS News la ozothola khona zonke izindaba ezenzakalayo emhlabeni kanti ungakhohlwa ukushaya subscribe ukuze ungaphuthela izo zonke izindaba ezenzakalayo.
Sesiyocela ukuthi silungele uqala inkonzo. The service booklet we have with us. The service starts on page 3 of our service booklets. Therefore, we will request that we all take our seats so that we allow the service to begin, which is led by the Archbishop of Cape Town, the Most Reverend Dr. Thabo Makgoba. If we can take our seats, please. Soalista. Can the media please give us space as we begin the service? On page 3 of our service books, hymn 184, Sheshani Neza.
David Rattray. He was held in high regard the world over as he told the stories of the Anglo-Zulu War and our triumphs at Isandlwana with such beauty, dignity and respect. He was loved by our grandfather for his contribution to Zulu culture and its preservation. With Mr. Rattray's passing in 2007, our grandfather said a spear had fallen in the Zulu nation. Umntwana always had a way with words. 16 years later, we echo them. A great tree has fallen in this proud Zulu nation. Umntwana loved his grandchildren beyond measure, and we loved him dearly too. He was a pillar not only of our family, but of the democratic dispensation we are all a part of today. Umntwana was a giver. That was his love language. He had an eye for gifts and was amazingly attuned to the taste of his loved ones. His grandchildren, in turn, were faced with the annual headache at Christmas time. What gift do you get for the man who has every possible thing? We soon learned, however, that more than any material thing, Umntwana valued time with his family. Nothing made him happier than to be with us, and of course to pass down his wisdom and knowledge at any given moment. We learned so much about the value of listening, patience, and respect, particularly for our elders and traditional customs, among other things. Renowned for his esteemed roles in so many different spaces, of equal renown was his sense of humor. In my teen years, when I would visit Kwapinangen, he would often say, "Please stand over there. You are being rude with this height of yours, grandson." That became the running joke every time I came home. In the past few days, it has been fitting that the prevailing memory I've had is of Mtwana laughing. Anyone close to him knows that boisterous, unmistakable laugh. You know when someone is laughing from the pit of their stomach with such joy. And there are many enduring images of him laughing this way, further proof of his love and warmth. That is a side of him many of us were privileged to enjoy, and it is how most South Africans will remember him. I do not care to explore the altogether different image that a few people have cultivated about our grandfather. Enough has been said this past week to discredit their lies. Mtwana more than made his mark on our country and in politics through his tireless work in the public domain. As my father told the media this week, you can either perpetuate or destroy his legacy. But the truth remains, his legacy is the impact he had on people's lives. No attempt to discredit his work ever deterred him from his goal, which he pursued in tandem with other politicians, many of whom who are here today. The goal was always a free, fairly run, democratic South Africa. We as a family choose to remember him this way. As a fearless political leader who was never afraid to go against the grain for the sake of serving millions of black South Africans at a time when hope was at an all-time low. As our regal Prime Minister of the Zulu Nation and Nkosi of the Buthelezi clan, and last but not least, as our grandfather, father, and anchor of the family. Shenge, we salute you, we will always love you, and we will continue to keep your legacy enduring forever. May your soul rest in eternal peace. Shang! Shang! Soalisa!
Thank you very much to that moving tribute by the grandchildren. And as they walk down, we agree with the American playwright Thornton Wilder that the highest tribute to the departed is not grief, but gratitude. And we are all here summoned by grief, but our hearts are full of gratitude. May I also acknowledge the family friends who are here, but most importantly, the King Mpezeni of Zambia, His Majesty who is here amongst us, the Maponya family, the Oppenheimer family, and the Motsepe family. And at this point, may I invite His Excellency, the former President of Nigeria, Dr. Olusegun Obasanjo, to share his tribute in a few minutes, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, other heads of government here present, my colleagues, former presidents, government officials, my Lord the Archbishop, and my Lord Spiritual, the family of Prince Buthelezi, let me take this moment to share a few words from the long tribute that I've written and sent to the family. Soon after the creation of Inkatha Freedom Party, Prince Buthelezi was invited to Nigeria for us to have direct account of why and how. And he came and he briefed us. Well, what he said on that occasion still continues to ring in our minds. Today, we have lying in front of us a hero, a victor, a conqueror in the struggle and fight against human inhumanity against human. We are here not to mourn or to sorrow, but to celebrate a life dedicated to making other people's lives better and to making the place he found himself better than what that place was as he departed from the place. In 1986, as a member side, I visited President Mandela in Portsmouth prison, and I had a long discussion with him. We discussed many things, but one of the things I did ask about was Prince Buthelezi. I said to Madiba, and I quote, "When you leave prison, your problem will not be resolution of racist differences alone, but also resolution of ethnic differences." And Nelson Mandela understood me perfectly, and he responded, and I quote, "You are referring to Comrade Buthelezi. He is a freedom fighter in his own right. The means are different, but the objectives are the same." End of quote. Despite the narrative surrounding Prince Buthelezi at the time, Nelson Mandela knew who Prince Buthelezi was and knew that at his core, when one looks at Prince Buthelezi, one sees a committed fighter for greater freedom in South Africa. I learned a good lesson from that position of Madiba, and I reported it to Prince Buthelezi. During the period that the IFP and ANC had their issues, Mandela never questioned the genuineness and the authenticity of Buthelezi as a committed freedom fighter. The fact that South Africa did not descend into a full-scale civil war during the 1990s is one of the true miracles of our time. Prince Buthelezi must be commended for his resistance to escalating tensions with the ANC. Not only did Prince Buthelezi balk at the thought of civil war, but he was more than ready to sit around the table and offer his wisdom for the establishment of a new South Africa. While being able to sit across the table, Prince Buthelezi also exhibited a position of principles during the negotiations, which some might say were disruptive to the negotiations, while others will see it for what it was: a man dedicated to the people he served. I talk, of course, of the prince's insistence on Isilo, the Zulu monarch, being part of the negotiation. During the negotiation, Prince Buthelezi exhibited a capacity for compromise, such as accepting that South Africa will not be a federal state system in which provinces will hold greater power. However, on the issue of traditional leadership, Prince Buthelezi took a principled stance. During the visit of Commonwealth Eminent Persons Group to South Africa in 1986, I asked Prince Buthelezi what was goading him on. Without hesitation, he replied, "Interest of all people of South Africa."